Hello everybody, it's Coffee Morning with Carlos Morale, where I talk about a game based upon top secret criteria whilst drinking my morning coffee until my cup is dry. And today we're going to be looking at Explodemon, an action-adventure platformer from Curve Studios, published by Curve Digital, released way back in November 2011. From the same people who bought you Stealth Bastard. This is Explodemon, or possibly Explodemon, because of course I can't even have one game that doesn't have a problematic pronunciation. Seriously, why can't I cover games with straightforward names like Rocket League or Far Cry? Let's get one thing out of the way first. I was very impressed at the originality of the central mechanic of Explodemon, but apparently it is derivative of some game called Explosion Man, which I remember seeing come up for the Xbox 360 but never got around to playing. This similarity seems to have irked some online nerds, so if you're inclined towards bouts of neckbeardism regarding the provenance of game mechanics, this might be a game to avoid. I don't know. Mate. Why though? At first glance, Explodemon looks a bit Mega Man-esque. 2D action platformer, little robot dude, enemies, energy meter on the left. It all quickly becomes clear that this is not Mega Man, however, when you learn that enemies are defeated, not by shooting them in their stupid alien faces, but by exploding yourself with sufficient proximity to them that they die. Rather than being sent to heaven to collect your 72 virgins, however, you'll find that your robust little guy isn't bothered in the slightest by exploding himself and uses it not only to attack, but also to propel himself around the level, open doors, solve puzzles, and sometimes just jolly well go off anyhow for the sheer fun of it. There is a story to Explodemon, which is nice because it would be a shame to go around blowing up everything in sight without a good reason. The main reason to care about what happens in between the action parts, however, is the dialogue from Explodemon himself, which at first looks like nonsense, but after a while seems like it makes a remarkable amount of sense, given that it's coming from some guy who literally cannot stop exploding every few seconds. So, funny dialogue and interesting central mechanic. That's a good start. Unfortunately, if you look too hard at Explodemon, it reveals some unpleasantly rough edges. Actually, rough isn't quite the right word. Blurry would be better. Graphically, Explodemon lacks a bit of punch. Samey environments, generic sprites coupled with lackluster resolution options makes the game a little unappealing to look at. It's a shame, since the nature of the game will lend itself to something much more visually vibrant. The game also does a pretty poor job of explaining its own mechanics, particularly the boost run, which either just triggers when it wants to, or the activation for it was unclear. Overall, Explodemon was a fun little game to play that brought a smile to my face for much of its short run time. If you can find it on sale for £1, then I think I'd recommend you giving it a go. It's very forgiving in its early stages and can be played and replayed, looking for shiny collectibles and just having a good time. A surprisingly relaxing experience for a game about an exploding robot that everyone hates. Thank you ever so much for watching today's video on Explodemon. I hope very much that you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do not hesitate to leave a like somewhere where you found this video, and you might consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. In any case, I look forward to seeing you again next time.